Cam Jansen, The Triceratops Pops Mystery. Written by David A. Adler. Illustrated by Susanna Natty. Published by Puffin Books. Produced by Educa Korea. Chapter 1. Honk, honk! A clown sitting on a huge tricycle honked his horn. Then he handed Eric Shelton a flyer. "Thank you," Eric said. Someone dressed in a large frog costume handed him another flyer. "Thank you," Eric said to the frog. "Ribbit, ribbit," the frog answered. "Put your hands in your pockets," Cam told Eric. "If you don't, people will keep giving you papers." Cam Jansen and her friend, Eric Shelton, were walking through the Hamilton shopping mall. It was a sale day, and the mall was crowded. "Listen to this," Eric said. He read from one of the flyers. "Today only, big sale at Jason's Sneaker Palace. You'll run faster at Jason's Sneakers." Then Eric read from the second flyer. "Today only, free sprinkles, nuts, and syrup on any 2-scoop ice cream cone at Mama Minnie's Sweet Shop." "I get interesting things in the mail, not at the mall," Cam said. She gave Eric a card. "Listen to what Aunt Molly sent to me." Cam closed her eyes and said, "Click." Cam always says, "click," when she wants to remember something. Cam recited the poem that was printed on the card. "I love giraffes and elephants, chickens, ducks, and geese, but not as much as I love my 8-year-old niece. Happy birthday." "That's silly," Eric said. "You're not 8 years old, you're 10. Cam opened her eyes and said, "And it's not my birthday. That was 4 months ago." Cam smiled and said, "Aunt Molly is nice, but very forgetful." Cam closed her eyes again and told Eric, "Now, look on the back of the card. There's a smiling hen sitting on an egg. In the egg is the number 125-98976. That's the number of the card." "You're right," Eric said. "You have an amazing memory." Cam has a photographic memory. She remembers just about everything she sees. It's as if she has photographs stored in her head. Cam's real name is Jennifer. When she was a baby, people called her Red because she has red hair. But when they found out about her amazing memory, they began calling her the Camera. Soon, the Camera was shortened to Cam. "There was money inside the card," Cam said. "Aunt Molly wrote that I should buy myself something for my birthday. That's why I'm looking for the music store." Someone in a rabbit costume gave Eric a flyer. "Thank you," Eric said to the rabbit. Eric read from the flyer. "Hoppy news, there's a pajama and sock sale at Bender's." Cam started walking quickly through the shopping mall. Eric had to hurry to keep up. "Let's get pajamas or a pair of Jason's sneakers," Eric said. "Or some of Mama Minnie's ice cream. I love ice cream with sprinkles." Cam said, "No, I want to get the new Triceratops Pop CD. I heard one of the songs. It was great." "I'd rather have ice cream," Eric said. "Close your eyes," he told Cam, "and imagine strawberry ice cream covered with chocolate syrup. Now imagine red, blue, yellow, and green sprinkles sinking into the syrup. On top of all that are walnuts, sliced almonds, and pecans." Cam closed her eyes. She imagined Eric's ice cream sundae, and she walked right into a man carrying 2 large shopping bags. Apples and oranges fell from one of the bags. Cam opened her eyes and said, "I'm sorry." Then she and Eric chased after the rolling fruit and returned it to the man. Cam told Eric, "I'm not imagining ice cream anymore. It only gets me into trouble. I'm looking for the music store. We have to hurry. My dad said he'll meet us by the bank in an hour." Now Eric's eyes were closed. "I'm imagining the ice cream," Eric said, "and it's delicious." Eric walked into a sign. Excuse me," Eric said to the sign. "Keep your eyes open and watch where you're going," Cam told him. Cam and Eric walked past a jewelry store, a candy shop, and a pet store. Then Cam said, "There's the music store, and they're having a sale too." Chapter 2. Cam ran to Ernie's Everything in Music and Video store. She was about to go in when Eric yelled, "Stop! You're going in the wrong way." Cam stopped. She looked at the gate. It was clearly marked Exit. Near the bottom of the gate were 2 tiny red lights. Cam turned around and walked back to Eric. "That gate has an alarm," Cam told Eric. "Each CD and tape in the store must have a magnetic strip on it. If you go through the gate without taking off the strip, the gate beeps. When you pay, they take off the strip so you can get out without setting off the alarm." Cam and Eric walked in through the entrance. It was a big store with lots of departments. The store was crowded with shoppers. Cam stood by the entrance and looked around. Near the front of the store, videotapes of movies and old television shows were displayed. Above them were a few television screens showing scenes from some of the tapes on sale. Eric said, "Let's buy a movie tape." Cam shook her head and said, "No." "Then let's buy some blank tapes," Eric said. "We can tape television shows that are on while we're in school." "Look," Cam said, "there's a map of the store." Cam went to the map. "We have to go past the movie tapes to the end of aisle 7, Cam said. Cam started to walk away. Then she came back. She looked at the map, blinked her eyes, and said, "Click." "That's in case we get lost," she told Eric. "I'll have a picture of the map stored in my head." Cam and Eric walked down aisle 7. Music was playing throughout the store. Then the music stopped. "Make Ernie happy," someone announced. "Buy a CD or tape. You'll be happy too with Ernie's low, low prices." The music started again. "The CDs in each department are in alphabetical order," Cam told Eric. Cam walked to the end of the aisle. Eric stopped near the middle. Cam searched for the new Triceratops Pop CD. She couldn't find it. "Look at this," Eric said. He showed Cam a CD. "It's the new Ripe Banana Band CD," Eric said. "The group's music is soft and sweet, just like a ripe banana. I love it." Cam closed her eyes and said, "Click." "I'm looking at the store map," she told Eric. Cam opened her eyes. "Let's try aisle 4, she said. Cam and Eric went to aisle 4, but they didn't find any CDs by Triceratops Pops. Cam said. She put her hands on her hips and looked around. Eric looked too. "Maybe he could help us," Eric said. "He works here." Eric pointed to a tall young man wearing a yellow and green striped jacket. He was in aisle 6 next to a cart loaded with boxes. He was taking CDs from an open box and putting them on a shelf. "Could you please tell me where to find the new Triceratops Pop CD?" Cam asked the man. On the front of the man's jacket was a name tag that said, "Hello, I'm Ernie's helper. My name is Jordan." "Aisle 2, case 5, top shelf," Jordan said without turning around. "I put 6 discs there just a few minutes ago." "Aisle 2? Why aisle 2? Cam asked. Jordan turned and looked down at Cam and Eric and said slowly, "Because that's where they belong." Cam closed her eyes and said click while she walked. Eric held her hand so she wouldn't walk into anyone. "He's wrong," Cam said with her eyes still closed. "Aisle 2 is for country music. Triceratops Pops is not country." Cam opened her eyes. She and Eric found aisle 2, case 5, top shelf. There was a large empty space on the shelf, but no Triceratops Pop CDs. Chapter 3. "Maybe Jordan put them on another shelf. Maybe they're in another aisle," Eric said. Cam closed her eyes and said, click. Then she told Eric, "There are 10 music sections in this store. We've already checked popular, new releases, and country. It won't take long to check the others." Cam checked the show tune section. Eric checked jazz. Then Cam checked classical and rap. Eric checked easy listening, rhythm and blues, and specialty recordings. They didn't find the Triceratops Pop CDs. "Let's ask Jordan," Cam said. "He put the CDs on the shelf. Maybe he can find them." Jordan was still in aisle 6. A woman was talking to him.
"I'm looking for a tape. My daughter asked me to get it for her, and I said, that's just what I'll do. The tape is called Cupcake Love, or Cup Lake Love, or Pups Above. I'm sure you know the one I mean."
Jordan said very slowly,
"I don't know what you're talking about."
The woman smiled.
"I'll tell you about the people who made the tape. That's just what I'll do. It was a group called Teacher Creature, or Fixture Mixture, or, Peach and Picture."
Jordan looked at the woman for a long while. Then he said slowly,
"You want me to find a tape for you. You don't know the name of the tape, and you don't know the singing group."
That's right," the woman said.
"Well," Jordan told her, "if the tape came out in the last 5 years, we probably have it. Why don't you just look at all of our 8,000 tapes until you find one that looks right?"
The woman nodded her head and said,
That's just what I'll do."
As the woman walked past, Eric whispered to her, "You could call your daughter and ask her the name of the tape. There's a paid telephone right outside the store."
"Oh my, yes," the woman said and smiled. That's just what I'll do."
"Could you please help me?" Cam asked Jordan. She told him. "We looked in aisle 2, case 5, top shelf for the Triceratops Pop CDs. They're not there."
Yes, they are," Jordan said. I put them there myself."
Jordan took 2 CDs from the box he was still holding and put them on display. "Please," Cam said, "could you show us where the CDs are?" Jordan dropped the box onto the cart. He started to walk toward aisle 2. As he walked, he mumbled,
Next I'll have to show them where their pockets are so they can find their money. Then I'll have to show them the exit. Maybe I'll even have to walk them home.
Jordan stopped. He pointed to a large 2.
"This is aisle 2, he told Cam and Eric. "We keep our country music here. Now I'll show you case 5.
Jordan brought them to case 5. He pointed to the top shelf and said,
"And here are your CDs."
"No, they're not," Cam said. Jordan turned. He looked on the top shelf. He looked on the other shelves too. The CDs were gone.
Well, this is where I put the CDs, Jordan said.
"Maybe someone stole them," Cam said.
Jordan said, "No, you can't steal from here. We have a great security system."
He thought for a moment. Then he said,
"Maybe we sold all the CDs. 6 is a lot to sell in just a few minutes, but this is a busy store, and Triceratops Pops is a popular group. I'll check the computer.
Chapter 4. Cam and Eric followed Jordan to the end of the aisle. Jordan pressed a few buttons on the computer and then pointed to the screen.
Do you see this? It's just like I said. We have 6 CDs and they haven't been sold.
Then where are they? Cam asked.
Maybe someone took them off the shelf but hasn't paid for them yet. Maybe he's looking around the store for something else to buy.
No one would buy 6 of the same CD, Cam said. You mean 6 people took the T-Pop CDs off the shelf.
So, 6 people are buying the discs,
Jordan said as he turned and walked away.
That's possible. Ernie's Everything is a very busy store, and I have to get back to my work. I am a very busy man.
Forget about Triceratops, Pops, Eric said. Let's get a ripe banana band CD. No one would buy 6 T-Pop CDs, Cam said. But someone might steal them from here and sell them at a flea market or yard sale. How would anyone get out of here with stolen CDs? Eric asked. They've got a security gate that beeps. That's a mystery, Cam said. How did someone steal the CDs and get them past the exit gate? Eric clapped his hands and said, I knew it! I just knew it! Wherever we go, you find a mystery. Cam picked up a CD. It was in a closed plastic case. Stuck to the inside of the case was a white rectangle. Cam showed Eric the white rectangle and said, Here's the magnetic strip. It sets off the alarm when you leave the store. Cam tried to open the plastic case. She couldn't. They open up the case and take out the CD at the register when you pay, Cam told Eric. Cam put the CD down. Eric hummed a tune. Then he sang softly. Fields of green, yellow too. I love the fields and I love you. Yuck! What is that? Cam asked. It's a ripe banana song. Yuck, Cam said again. It sounded more like a rotten banana song. Cam thought for a moment. Then she leaned close to Eric and whispered, Maybe a thief broke open the cases, took off the white rectangles, and stuffed the CDs in his shirt. Maybe, Eric said. I'll look for the broken cases, Cam told him. Eric said, I'll check the registers. Maybe I'll find someone buying the Triceratops Pop CDs. Maybe there's no mystery at all. You just got here too late to buy any. Cam walked along the aisles. She looked under the tape and CD cases and behind them. She also looked at what people had in their shopping baskets. Near the back of the store, Cam felt a draft of cold air. She turned and saw that the back door was open, and there was no security gate there. Cam was just starting toward it when she heard a loud beep, beep, beep coming from the front of the store. Chapter 5. Cam rushed down aisle 6 past Jordan to the store entrance. Eric pointed to a man standing by the security gate. The guard opened a bag he was carrying. Cam looked at the man. She blinked her eyes and said, Click.
This is it,
the guard said as he took out a videotape rented from another store.
These always set off our alarm.
The man was about to leave.
I'm sorry,
the guard said.
I'll have to check your other bag, too.
The guard was wearing a name tag.
Hello, I'm Ernie's helper. My name is Barry,
was printed on the tag. The man with the videotape was holding another large paper shopping bag. Cam got closer to see what was in the bag.
Oh, it's a watermelon,
the man said.
I'm having a party tonight, and this will be the dessert.
Barry, the guard, looked in the bag. Cam looked in too. It was a watermelon.
It's a big one,
Barry said.
I'm having a big party.
The man told him as he left the store. The bottom of the watermelon bag was wet and left a spot on the floor. Buried the guard wiped the floor and then went back to his seat near the cash registers. Cam told Eric,
"Come with me. I'll show you how the thief got out."
Eric followed Cam to the back door.
"There's no guard here,"
Cam whispered.
"and there's no security gate."
Cam and Eric walked closer and looked out. The door opened out on a back street and driveway.
"Excuse me,"
said a woman pushing a handcart loaded with boxes. She was making a delivery. Cam and Eric moved aside and let the woman walk past. Then they started to walk through the back door. A tall woman wearing a yellow and green striped jacket stopped them.
"This exit is for emergencies only. If you want to leave, you'll have to go out the front door."
On the woman's jacket was a name tag that said,
"Hello, I'm Ernie's helper. My name is Susan."
Cam and Eric walked away from the door. Eric said,
"Maybe the thief got out when Susan was on her lunch break."
"Shh," Cam whispered.
"Look."
Cam pointed to a woman wearing a large raincoat. The woman was walking along the back aisle of the store.
"She's wearing a raincoat, and it isn't raining,"
Cam whispered.
"It hasn't rained all week."
Cam and Eric followed the woman. She stopped by a rack of videotapes. She took a tape from the rack and looked at it. The woman turned and saw Cam and Eric watching her. She quickly returned the tape to the rack and walked down aisle 4.
"Did you see that?"
Cam asked.
"What?"
"Her pockets are full. I'll bet she's got the stolen CDs."
Eric said, "Or maybe she just has a rain hat and gloves in her pockets."
Cam and Eric walked quietly to aisle 4. They stood at the end of the aisle. They pretended to be looking at the CDs, but they were really watching the woman in the raincoat. The woman turned and saw Cam and Eric watching her. Cam smiled at the woman. Then Cam blinked her eyes and said, "Click." The woman turned and walked away. Cam whispered to Eric,
"I just took a picture of her with my mental camera. I want to remember what she looks like. She might be the CD thief."
Cam and Eric walked to the end of aisle 4. They looked down aisles 3 and 5.
"Where did she go?"
Cam asked. Just then, they heard a loud
beep, beep, beep.